I used to work as a lawyer on the Champs-Élysées in Paris, and I've been around many elegant ladies. And I've noticed that there are some very specific things that elegant ladies never ever do. And the first one is that they never follow trends. So for elegant ladies, following trends means that you're more dressing for validation because you want to show that you belong to the group of people who are aware of fashion, of people who, can afford also to be trendy, as opposed to dressing for self-expression, which is what elegant ladies strive to do. So that doesn't mean that an elegant lady would never pick up on a trend and bring it to her closet, but then if she does that, it is because the trend aligns with her personality and how she wants to portray herself in the world through clothing, and not just because the trend is currently trending. Elegant ladies very much see themselves as leaders, so they will use what's available in the fashion world to convey their personality to the world, but they wouldn't want to be perceived as followers of trends because that would convey that they don't have enough education and groundedness to create fashion themselves. And I don't want you to start thinking that if you follow a trend, all of a sudden you have no personality. Trends can be a great way to develop your sense of style through trial and error. The second thing that elegant ladies never do is that they never make others feel small. Mundane events can be the stage for underconfident people to get a little bit of a confidence boost because it's the opportunity to show yourself under a particularly good light and get a lot of compliments. But elegant ladies don't really see social events this way. They see it more as a way to grow their social circle, but not to feel better about themselves through the look of others, because that is something that they already know how to do in private, which is something I'll explain further later. Not needing to talk about yourself conveys a feeling of I have enough, or I have enough confidence, so much so that I don't need other people's validation to feel good about myself. And so in the same vein, the third thing that they never do is to talk too loud or to giggle too loud. There's always a group of girls that you notice more than everybody else. And usually, consciously or unconsciously, the objective of this very loud group of girls is to get attention. Usually they feel good about themselves and they want to be noticed. But from an elegant lady's perspective, that is the wrong way of going about things, because you're supposed to have your validation coming from yourself and your own opinion. So seeking attention in such an obvious way is a very inelegant thing to do. Fourth thing they never do is that they never lose their shit, even in really tough circumstances. I'm not going to take the example of an elegant lady, but of an elegant man. My father-in-law. My in-laws had to flee Bosnia with their two young children during the conflict that took place in the 1990s. And so they had to spend a couple of months in a refugee camp, and in that refugee camp, my father-in-law had to queue for water for the whole day, basically, without knowing that he would be able to bring water back to his family. And so there were obviously people who would cut that queue so that they would get to the water first. And my father-in-law always said that as frustrated as he was when he would have queued up the whole day and not gotten the water, he would not cheat because that was beyond his own code of conduct. And that, in my opinion, is the epitome of true elegance. To live through standards of respect for others that are so strong that even in circumstances like being in a refugee camp, you wouldn't derogate to those rules that you set for yourself. And grounded in that as well is the fifth thing that elegant ladies never do, which is arguing in public. And that is because here the moral code is I should not impose on others with my private matters. And so what goes through the mind of an elegant lady in that moment where there is really a need to argue, but it's not the right place? One, the reason of the argument is private, and that's not something that you would want maybe people to hear. And second, what is happening right now and the boiling of emotion is actually just emotions. And an elegant lady knows that her emotions are not a good enough reason to impose on others. And so she knows to just put them in a little box or a little chest and then sort the matter once the place is more appropriate. And the sixth thing that an elegant lady never does is that she never settles. She is always moving and improving and learning to be closer to the idea she has of the best version of herself. She never settles for less than what she thinks she deserves. And that's not in an entitled kind of way, because entitled means I deserve to get those things as I am right now with no effort. Whereas an elegant lady thinks that she deserves a lot, but that she must also be the person who is worthy of those things. And so that also means that she's ready to let go of places, people, situations that don't align with whom she wants to be. And in the same way, and that's the seventh thing that they never do, is that they never speak ill of themselves. And that is because they are working constantly on developing that confidence that everybody admires about elegant women. It's not something that they were born with, it's something that they practice every day by telling themselves how great they did at something, how much progress they've made, because you cannot develop confidence if you always tell yourself how bad you are. And the eighth thing that they never do is to put their comfort before others. I remember when I was still a student, actually, networking at a fancy law firm event, trying to talk to the partners and everything. So usually in those settings, there are always some people that are not as comfortable doing that will awkwardly stand outside of the circle trying to make their way in, but not too much because they wouldn't want actually people to talk to them. And so what an elegant lady would do would be to notice that this person is feeling awkward and welcome them into the circle to help them relax a little bit and even start the conversation with them to try to make them feel more comfortable. And an elegant lady would do that because even though she might want to talk to the partner as well, she is more grounded in the mindset of having, of I have enough. If it's not this partner, it's going to be somebody else. If I don't talk to anybody tonight, it's not going to ruin my career. This detachment makes her able to notice others, first and foremost, and second, to put other people's comfort before hers. Number 9, an elegant lady never dwells on the negative. I see a lot of people complain about their job, about their spouse, about their body, feeling very trapped in it and spending a lot of time talking about the problem and how the problem is making them feel and how it's difficult to solve the problem. And it seems finding some kind of relief in complaint. If she is feeling stuck in a situation but she doesn't know how to get out of it, she is going to learn what ways she could use to leave that situation that makes her unhappy. And it doesn't mean that she's going to succeed right away or it's going to be easy or that she's not going to suffer or be very anxious or stressed in the process of changing that situation. But at least she knows that spending time on complaining about what is wrong is not going to bring her the solution. So her energy is better spent figuring out how to get out of this uncomfortable situation. And number 10, an elegant lady never confuses price tag with class. When you look online, you see that elegance is mostly depicted as a way of dressing, maybe a way of walking and sitting and holding your fork. And that usually comes with a heavy price tag. A woman is going to be considered more elegant if she is wearing an Hermes Kelly than if she's wearing some random bag that she bought at Target. And there is this belief that to join high society, you need to dress expensively and have a lot of money. And that is, at least in my experience, not true at all. Because you could have a lot of money and be a horrible person and people just wouldn't want to be around you just because you're horrible. Doesn't matter that you have money or not. Or at least you wouldn't develop strong, healthy relationships based on trust, which is important. You learn more the respect of those people if you are truly elegant and truly emotionally intelligent than if you're wearing Dior, Chanel, Hermes, Balenciaga from head to toe. And intelligence comes from the Latin word intelligere, which stands for the ability to choose between or to read between. So initially, intelligence is not about IQ or math or doing good at school. It's about people's intelligence. And also, if meeting women who are striving to become those people, and maybe some who already are, is something that interests you, I would like to invite you to join the Cercle Mademoiselle, which is my private membership here on YouTube, where on top of having access to a community of women who strive for elegance and, intelligence, you'd also have access to exclusive member videos that I don't share publicly anywhere else, to some in-depth tutorials on makeup and fashion, as well as the ability to ask me questions that I answer often through Q&As. So if you would like to join the Cercle Mademoiselle, I invite you to click the join button just under this video, and I will be honored to have you by my side in the Cercle Mademoiselle. So thank you for spending some of your time with me. If you enjoyed what you saw, I invite you to subscribe. And in any case, I will see you very happily in the next one. À bientôt!